you doing, Cadre? It's Dagwood Z, and today I'm going to go over a quick tutorial on basic stropping. A lot of people, wet shavers, when they get into straight razor shaving, one of the biggest questions they have is, how do I strop my razor? And a lot of them think back to old films and they see the barber with the strop and it's kind of loose and he's pushing down into it and putting a lot of pressure on it and just running the blade back and forth. In my experience, that's an easy way to get a rolled edge, but I'm going to go through and just show you some basic techniques that I use, as well as a couple of the different strop types that I use. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, I'm going to be going through the different strops that I have here. This is my little strop section in my room. First thing, I'm going to go over the different types of strops. So you have leather, of course you have different grades of leather. You have different types of handles. Generally they're attached by a hook, but that's different from strop maker to strop maker. So the first one I'm going to go over is this right here. This is a velvet finish horsehide strop. It's relatively stiff. It's not very loose. It's got a loop handle, so you can just loop your fingers in there and pull it taut. This is a faster draw. So when somebody says draw, they're referring to how much resistance is applied to the razor as it's drawn across the strop. So the more resistance, the heavier the draw. So this is a very light draw, so it's a fast strop. Next, I'm going to go over these right here. These are felt. These are sprayed with chromium oxide on this. It's a sharpening compound. And this is diamond spray on this one right here. These have a little different end. These have the handles. I got these early on. I have mixed results with these. Half the time my blade comes out duller than it went in. So I don't really use these all that often. Now, getting to the strops that I normally use, the first one is a Turkish linen strop that was made by our very own CB Lindsay. Chris did a great job on this. This is a great material. It's great for a little bit of pre-stropping, just to knock some of the dust off or whatnot. But I mainly use it post-shave. I'll go in and I'll run this over the blade, run the blade over this about 10 times, just to clean the bevel off real quick. And then I move on to the fire hose linen. The other thing I want you to notice is these are all barber ends, meaning they don't have a handle or any kind of hook. This is a fire hose linen, so Irish linen. This is an old fire hose. This does a great job of prepping the blade for the leather. If you notice, this is what I use to hold my strops. I can pull really hard on this and keep the strop nice and taut, which is one of the things I'll go over. This does a really good job of prepping the blade. It's not too harsh on the blade and helps refine it prior to the leather. This is my actual functional strop right here. It's a two-piece strop. A lot of strops that you buy that come with a fabric component as well as the leather component. This is a Kanayama 2196. It's one of their thinner leather pieces, but it's still a great piece of leather. Again, this is a barber end. Excuse me. It's a barber end strop. All right, this is another fast draw. I prefer a fast draw on my strops. I don't really use the fabric component on this. I haven't really broken it in enough for it to use it. It's still pretty stiff. I use the fire hose instead. One of the things you want to do before you get ready to strop is go ahead and heat your leather up a little bit, and it just until your hand gets warm. It's going to do a couple things. It's going to loosen the leather up. It's going to make it a little more supple. Plus, you're imparting some of your hand oils, your natural body oils into the strop, and it helps it out and helps further condition it. So once you do that, you're ready to strop. So I'm going to be stropping a Dovo. All right, this is a best quality. don't know if you can see that. It's not one of their best razors, and it's actually not in rotation right now. But it's good for honing, for demonstration purposes. So one of the things when you're stropping that you want to make sure you do is hold the strop nice and taut. You don't have to put a death grip on it, and you don't have to, but you don't want it loose. You don't want it loosey-goosey because you don't want to be pushing down into the strop like this. So similar to how you shave, it's pressure, it's weight of the blade. You want to keep it, try and keep it as weight of the blade as possible. So you're always going to go spine first. It's always spine first, spine leading, never edge leading. You're going to cut your strop if you do that. So you're going to lay the blade flat and always keep your spine on the strop. If you do that, then you can lift the blade up, place it down when you're first learning. And then eventually you'll get comfortable. You just flip it over the spine. And as you get more comfortable, you can speed up. If you notice the strop really isn't flexing all that much, don't concentrate on speed, concentrate on technique. Remember, spine always stays in contact with the strop when in the middle of the stroke. All right, you can lift it up, but before you do any kind of motion, make sure that the spine and the razor are flat on the strop. Okay. So after I do that, I'll typically come to the leather. All right, I've already heated the leather up. I'm not going to go through that again. All right, and the same thing. Always, always, always spine leading, and it's weight of the razor. And it's just, you're just rolling over the spine, just like this. All right. I do it pretty fast. This is my normal speed right here. All right, notice I'm not pushing down into the strop. All right, and the strop isn't loose. All right, the strop is nice and taut. Remember, over the spine always stays in contact with the blade. Don't push the edge of the blade into the strop. You want to lay it flat and just draw it across. Just draw it across, draw it across, draw it across, draw it across. All right, one down and back is considered one lap if you're counting. All right, you don't have to count. Some of us are pretty obsessive compulsive when it comes to that. So I'll do 25 on the Irish linen or fire hose. Before shaving, I'll do 25 on this, and then 50 on the leather, and then post shave, I'll do 10 on this, 20 on this, and 40 on the leather. So it all depends on what works for you. I found that works for me. If I've just finished honing a razor, the stropping session will be a little longer. That works out the roughness of the honing and improves the keenness of the blade. Again, take your time. I can't emphasize enough to take your time when you start off. All right, don't rush it. Don't rush it at all. All right, spine always leading, and just weight of the razor, and keep the spine, and just roll over the top of the spine. Again, you can lift up as long as the spine is on the strop. That's going to keep you from cutting your strop. Okay. Okay, just to show you exactly what I was meaning, the other angle wasn't that good, but just to show you what I'm talking about as far as the flip. The flip is very important when you're stropping. You don't, remember, the spine always stays on the strop, so it's always spine leading, and you're going to just turn your wrist and kind of like holding a pencil, you're going to flip it like this. So it's for me, it's a little bit of wrist combined with finger. If you notice, my spine never leaves the strop. There's a little bit of turning my wrist and using my fingers to manipulate the tang, this piece right here, right? And just manipulating it, turning it over, just like this. All right, I hope that helped. Like I said, this is just a quick demonstration on stropping. So if you guys have any questions, leave a comment, and good shaving.